Welcome to Peptide-proof, your source for rigorous, independent, evidence-based peptide intelligence. Today, we're looking at the 500 Dalton Rule and peptide skin penetration. So let's jump right in with a hard truth about the peptide serums currently sitting on your shelf. The active ingredient in those bottles is actually likely too big to get through your skin on its own. This is a foundational principle in dermatology, but it's one that often gets overlooked in skincare marketing. There's just this massive gap between expectation and reality here. You see a 10% active percentage printed on a label, and you naturally assume that a high dose of that ingredient is actually reaching your living skin. But because of their sheer physical size, these molecules often just end up piling up on the surface. Simply put, the concentration in the bottle does not equal the concentration in your skin. And that brings us to the famous 500 Dalton Rule, which was first published back in 2000. To put it in perspective, a Dalton is roughly the weight of a single hydrogen atom. Research has shown a very clear threshold. Any molecule heavier than 500 Daltons simply can't naturally cross intact human skin. So what's actually stopping it? The obstacle is the stratum corneum. That's your skin's incredibly thin outermost layer. Think of it like a brick wall. The bricks are dead skin cells, and they're securely bound together by a dense mortar made of lipids. It's kind of a double paradox when you think about it. We're dealing with biologically active dead cells whose sole evolutionary job is to keep absolutely everything out, right? While we're spending money trying to force things in. Now, while small, lipid-loving molecules can easily weave their way through those tight lipid chains, peptides are inherently water-loving. That means they are chemically repelled by that fatty mortar. Add in their large physical size, and they end up completely stranded on top of the barrier. If we look at the peptide weight matrix, the popular cup or tripeptide GHKCU actually sneaks in safely below that 500 Dalton threshold. However, anti-aging heavyweights like matrixyl and argyroelin sit way above the natural permeability limit. They are simply too big to cross the barrier alone. Which leads us to Section 1, 4 peptide delivery tactics. Tactic 1 is molecular lipidation. This is where chemists attach a fatty tail, specifically palmitic acid, to a standard peptide. This single chemical tweak is incredibly clever because it allows that heavy molecule to dissolve directly into the skin's oily mortar instead of being repelled by it.
Beyond the headlines.
Into the research. Peptide-proof.
But there is a major solubility trade-off here. That fat tail that aids penetration makes the peptide notoriously difficult to dissolve in a standard water-based serum. If a formulator gets the balance wrong, the peptide just crashes out of the solution and sits in a greasy layer on your skin doing nothing. Tactic 2 is encapsulation. Moving beyond standard liposomes, newer tiered release vesicles can now deliver large peptides 2 to 5 times deeper into the skin. We're even seeing self-assembling nanostructures that release peptides slowly, all while maintaining perfect chemical stability. Then we have Tactic 3, which utilizes cell-penetrating peptides, or CPPs, as molecular keys. Studies show that specialized CPPs can actually forcibly drag massive molecular cargoes directly through the stratum corneum. And Tactic 4 bypasses the barrier mechanically. Clinical tools like microneedling and non-ablative lasers create temporary microscopic channels in the skin. This essentially forms an express lane straight down to the living dermis, which is exactly where collagen is made. The efficacy data on this is quite striking. Compared to intact skin as a baseline, microneedling can improve the delivery of heavy peptides by up to 22-fold, and non-ablative NDIG lasers can boost delivery by an incredible 40-fold, temporarily changing the physical barrier itself. Moving on to Section 2, formulation over concentration. In reality, a basic 10% peptide serum is just going to pool on the skin barrier. Conversely, a mere 1% peptide concentration that's been properly built into an advanced liposomal vesicle easily sinks right in. Basically, a smart vehicle consistently outperforms a high concentration that's just trapped on the surface. So keeping all of this in mind, here is a smart buyer checklist. 1. Check the weight of the hero peptide. Remember, heavyweights need formulation help. 2. Demand advanced delivery claims from the brand beyond just high percentages. 3. Try to time your applications immediately after clinical treatments while those microchannels are open. And 4. Ignore those Botox in a bottle myths that pretend the skin barrier simply doesn't exist. Always remember, the barrier is the bottleneck. The 500 Dalton Rule governs everything here, but once that barrier is opened up, whether through chemistry, encapsulation, or mechanical force, stuck molecules can suddenly move. The real question you should be asking yourself is this: is your expensive serum actually built to break the rule, or is it just sitting on the surface? That's all for this episode. Like and comment to receive materials from us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.